picked this up a few days ago. This one's a Sanyo, I think. Hard to see, and I probably should have turned the light on. That probably would have been smart, huh? Let's try that. There, that's a little better. And Sears. Oh, it's Sears. Solid state. Oh, that's interesting to me, anyways. This one's a top loader. Gary Newman in there. So I found this on Marketplace and struck up a conversation with the guy in Whitehall, Arkansas. And we got to chatting, and he said, you know, I know a place that has some tapes. And I'm like, really? Well, let's go. Well, he goes, well, the store is closed right now. And I think it was a couple of hours I would have had to have waited around. But as I was on my way out the door, I said, you know what, if that's your friend, why don't you text him and see if he'll let me come now, because I'm here now. And long story short, the guy goes, yeah, all right, I'll drive you over there. The guy said, okay. So we drive over to Pine Bluff, and it's a huge record store. I mean, you know, it's an independent, but it's been there for 50 years, and it was just filled with anything you could imagine, even the side hustles in there. So we go in there, and I meet the guy. He says, hi, yeah, I'll show you where the Betamax is. And we start going through the store. This is a big store. Then we go through a side door, and there's another store inside of that with different stuff for sale. You try to figure out what that was. Then we went into another door, and then down some stairs to this small room right out of Saw. I think it was a storage room or whatever. I don't know. We were deep in the bowels of that place. And then said, okay, go ahead, go to it. So I'm going to show you some of those tapes I picked out of there too. But why don't we try to see if we can get this thing going. Now I've got this thing running through this Xbox so that I can get sound through this sound bar, because this TV here, while the sound does work, you can only hear it when it's at max. So there's obviously something wrong with the sound system there. So we're going to give that a little try. Let's see if I can't get it to go. I think that's got to be on. And then I got to make sure it's on mute, because that thing makes a hell of a racket. See? And then we'll go over here. So we got the Gary Newman tape in there, because I probably should show that. Gary Newman, what the hell does that say? The Touring Principle, and I think the album was called The Pleasure Principle. So I'd never seen this, so I thought that was whatever. Now this thing does not work great. It's got some problems, and it's real fussy on the uptake. But then it sort of warms up and then starts working okay. Let's see, you're probably going to get to see it misbehaving. Well, probably, there it goes. Oh, see, it's in a good mood at the moment. Let's see if we can get on there. There he is, Gary Newman. Whoop-de-doo, right? Okay. So then we'll go, this tape was in there, just a blank. I got these here. The song remains the same from Zeppelin, The Cars, Heartbeat City. I think I had that tape back in the day. There's a Godfather Part 3. And then there's some weird movies here that I'd never heard of. Dixie Dynamite. I heard of Magical Mystery Tour from the Beatles. David Bowie, those guys kept calling him. I say Bowie. Red Sparkles, I don't know what that is. Is it that? Well, there's Kiss. Animalized Live. That's after they took the makeup off. Their concert talk's pretty jive. No, Preacher Man is what that thing is. Dixie Dynamite. Where was the? It was one that was Joe Namath, and it was pretty funny. Evil That Men Do. Silkwood. North Dallas 40. There it is. Look at this thing. Joe Namath. I don't know who that chick is. Anne Margaret? Is that what that says? Wow. Never heard of that. Never seen it. Bop, bop, bop. Currently have that on sale on eBay if you want that. Ain't going to be cheap, though. And Stanley I'd never heard of. You got these little tabs. See, when I take in stuff like that, the first thing I do is clean every one of these tapes and boxes with some these wipes here, these Clorox wipes. And then I catalog them in my phone so I don't buy repeats. Philadelphia Experiment. And then these are all the ones that were probably rentals. I don't know if the camera's picking these up. But this is Death Wish. And A Name for Evil. And Batman, but this is the Batman from the 60s, that kind of goofy one. He's running around with the bomb. King and I, which I watch under protest. Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone. I think that's what that is. Look how jumpy that VCR is. See that? Born, and the tracking does nothing, by the way. And you can even see the numbers up at the top? I'm sure that's the embedded code that you're not supposed to see. Whatever. We'll figure it out. The Sting, it'd be nice if one time I got one of those players that wasn't fucked in some kind of way. Hi, Fawn. I'm sorry I can't communicate with you because I'm in here. I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry for that. Hot Pursuit, and that's not that stupid one with that blonde chick. This is an older one from the 80s that I've never seen, but just so you know. Best of Bandstand, Dick Clark. I might take a look at that. There might be some cheese in there. Hopefully it's not from the 50s. Come Dancing with the Kinks. The Clash, which is not my bag in the slightest. And that is Rat, the video. Bunch of music videos. This lot came with a ton of music. Did I show the Philadelphia Experiment? That's one of my favorites, and that's been hard to find for quite a while, and then all of a sudden it wasn't hard to find. Music videos that came in there. So those are those. And by the way, this is only part one. There's still 2 more crates in the garage that I just haven't got around to because it takes me so long to clean these and catalog them. This was the biggest part of this lot was these weird ones here. That they don't have their box, which I don't love. And then there's the crate I got to take, one of them. And then there's some more over here that I haven't got to yet. We got scanners. Come on, scanners. That's cool. Prime Cuts music videos. That's what I'm talking about. I like that kind of stuff. Octopussy. This one is a repeat for me. I must have slipped through the crack there. Somebody's going to get a shot at this. What they call loose Octopussy. And The Man from Snowy River. A friend of mine, his mom made him watch that all the time. So I think that's all I got. And I'll do more once I get to the others. So that'll be that on that. So that's it for Alpha Male Betamax. And I didn't write the number because I can't remember what the number is anymore. But I mean, what's the difference? Boy, my arm shakes, doesn't it? Ooh. Anyways, thanks for watching. Look out for another part of this, or another part 2, or whatever. It's probably a ton I haven't shown. Good night. Oh, the button to turn this thing off is covered by this gimbal. That's so cute. Oh, that's going to be a tough one.